Are we live? Okay, we are live. All right, I had a little bit of technical difficulties. Is anybody else's Wi-Fi all of a sudden slowing down? Like, this is always the fun part, of course. I'm really good at this part. It's not working. Maybe Instagram, okay. Getting people on the back end. Okay, yes, now, okay. I feel like it's working now. Okay. Hi, everybody. I think we're working. I think we're in. Mute that. How's everybody? This is the second time around for welcomes, but I hope everybody's doing well on this Wednesday. I was saying I have some sun here in Connecticut. Can I figure it out? That's basically what it is. Okay. I think I have. Yes! There we are. Are you in?
Oh my God, let's do it!
Ale. Let's go. Everybody, the Indomitable Chef Dominique Crenn, the only 3-star Michelin female chef. Unbelievable. 3 stars. Bar Crenn also has 1 star. Am I right? 1 star.
Wait.
You're actually a Michelin 4-star chef. We're just going to say that.
Yeah, that's it.
We are so excited to have you. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
This is total dreams come true. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. I'm excited, yet there is a lot of sadness in me, but I'm trying to be very positive about the outcome and to make sure that I have 100% of myself to be able to be at some type of service to my community. So I'm trying to be happy every day.
Yeah, I know it's an interesting time. I feel like everything is true at once. It's like it's such a hard time, but it's also a beautiful time for some people. They're going to spend more time with their family or going to do other things. It's a really uncertain time, but the things that we're always coming back to, the community, the friends, the family, whether that's on FaceTime, people are having wine dates or cooking more meals. That's sort of like the consistency that we all need. And just emotionally, it feels like I'm great one day, I'm all over the place the next day.
Right.
It's an interesting time for sure.
I think this is interesting because I think we realize that connection is so important. Like we need to be connected to people, walking the dog 25 times a day. I'm not sure about this.
Yeah.
taking walk, it's amazing, but I mean, we need contact, I mean, you know as much as I know that we need contact. So, but it's been, I think it's been a time of reflection, of compassion, of love, and I think we also it help us maybe perhaps to wake up to a different way of looking at life, which in one side is great, on the other side is really sad to see this tragedy, and I mean, when I heard that some of my friends had COVID, I was like I was so touched, and it was so close to home. And I have a friend of mine, yes, two people that passed away. I know of someone that passed away also. So it's getting so close to home that we have to realize that we are all together in this crisis, and we need to unify. Unity is the number one things we need to do, and also care about ourselves and the way that we walk through life, but mind, body, and soul, and play some soccer on Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, it truly is a remarkable time. It is incredibly self-confronting in so many ways, but it truly is a global, it's a global pandemic, but it's sort of a global human consciousness all happening at the same time to literally everyone on the planet. We've had a few of these Reset the Table live series. I think you're the fifth one. It's our weekly conversation where we bring together people, and the whole goal is to spark this sort of exploration, collaboration, reflection of not only the times right now, obviously these are particularly unusual times, but like you said, it's interesting. I think it's kind of opened people's eyes up to a lot, whether they weren't seeing problems before or they were seeing them and they're just like, how do I go about this, or how can I change? We're sort of aiming to bring people in who on their own, not only in the past but right now, are reimagining the status quo in some way and trying to figure out exactly how they're doing that and sort of what the inspiration is. We have these live events. Obviously, those are not happening right now. We're not able to gather people, nor should we. But we have these cards coming out very soon, which we're really excited about. They have prompts, all kinds of different questions to kind of get the conversation going. These will be available soon. We can't wait to launch those and hopefully bring all of these conversations into everyone's home. But we are so excited to have this conversation with you today, because just you existing and being as dominant and successful as you have been for all of these years is a total rebuke to the status quo. You're the only Michelin 3-star chef, obviously, and just coming into the restaurant world, which I feel like is very male dominated, very sort of machismo. You are a French chef. You lived in America for a long time, so you're sort of an outsider in that way. America tries to.
I still have the French accent.
Yeah, and you still have the very strong French accent, which I love. It's very good. But we're so interested to hear kind of what you've been going through during these times, but kind of a broad question. Let's just start broad with the restaurant industry and culture to begin with. What do you feel like, what parts of the restaurant culture, restaurant industry, whatever you want to say, what parts of that are going to be worth keeping once we get out of that? Because I think that the whole restaurant industry is going to have to change to survive, but it has a very unique opportunity to change as well, because there's probably things that that needed to change. So which ones do you feel like have a really amazing opportunity to be reimagined?
I mean, as you know, I've thank you for the question, and I want to say that I want to thank my team and the people that have supporting me all these years and inspire me to become who I am today. So it's not just me, but there is a bunch of people with me. I want to thank my dad also. He's upstairs. He's out there, like in the, I don't know, somewhere having a glass of wine. But you know, as you know, I've been a food justice advocate for many years, and in light of this COVID-19, it's been just it blowed up, and you know, I start to like really think about this, and the people that unfortunately are dying. You know, it's in a poor community, you know, and they have underlying, you know, condition like heart disease and diabetes. And what you realize, it had to come with from the food they're eating, and we have to change that. Like we have to change that, and you know, I think it's our responsibility to be able to reboot and rebuild, and also be able to give to those community what it's fair, and everybody should be a part of it, you know. And you know, I mean, you know, it started in the 1960s, you know, when, you know, those big loan SBA loan were going to those, you know, food chain, and it's like, oh yeah, let's put those food chain, you know, poor community, and they bring, I'm sorry, they bring shit food to those people, you know, and this is crazy, you know. So we have to change that, and I'm not saying that I'm the one that's going to change that, but I'm going to go out there and I'm going to be a part of the change for sure. I think what we have to realize that food is medicine. Anything that you're putting in your body is going to affect your body, you know.
Yeah.
And eating, you know, things that are not food, it's just like, so the restaurant industry, and I'm going to call all the people in the world that are in the restaurant industry, if you are a chef, you are responsible for your community to make sure that you bring good food to them, and good, I'm not thinking about healthy food like eating kale every day. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that understand where the food comes from, work with your community, work with your farmers, make sure that the food that you're putting in your body, because it's very important, it's well grown, and doing that is, it's, don't buy food that you have no idea when it comes from, you know. Don't buy those like boxes of things, and suddenly the only thing you just have to open the boxes and put it in the oven for this to warm up. Don't do this. Make food from scratch, and this is your responsibility as a chef in your own community. Right. And if you don't do that, you should not have a restaurant. Sorry. You know.
Well, I think one thing that's interesting what you're saying, what we're seeing in this time is that, you know, particularly with this pandemic, and obviously this is unusual, we don't see this all the time, but we do see mass sickness all the time. We see influenza every year, we see colds, you know, we see mass sickness in terms of chronic illness, talking about hypertension, we're talking about diabetes, we're talking about underlying conditions, heart conditions. Right. I think particularly what we're realizing this time is we're only as strong as our very weakest link. So if you have communities full of people who have underlying conditions, because they haven't been given healthy food options, and more than just not being given healthy food options, or looking at food as a way to feed themselves, they've actually, you know, had the more unhealthy options sort of forced upon them, whether that's more fast food restaurants, or that's greed in the food industry of wanting to just produce as much food as possible. Right. I feel one part that I think, the sort of idea of eating local, I think everybody thinks about that and just thinks like, okay, cool, this is like bougie, I'm gonna get like my local kale. I think everybody thinks of it that way, like, okay, I have to do this. But actually it's like you're living in the area. That means like you're working with your farmers, and those people are growing the food, and they're in the community. They know what the community wants. They know what the community needs. Right. Is that one part of the industry you feel like really needs to be shook up of yes, we're going to have a global supply chain of food, whatever it is, but the focus on a more local aspect of raising food and feeding the own community. That's with chefs, that's with just, you know, community gardens, whatever it is. Do you feel like that's part of the industry that could really, really be shaken up?
Totally. I think I always believe that the way that when you go through tragedy, the way to rebuild the country, you got to rebuild your own community first. Mm-hmm. That's, you know, that it's major. I mean, the indigenous, indigenous people are doing that. You go also, if you go to any part of the world where there is tribe and they're doing that, it's all about the community, and that makes you stronger. It's not about looking at the national level. It's looking at where you are, which state are you in, what is your community, what can they give you. The thing is, food is very political, because it's not just about food, because it's connected to so many and other industry. If there is no food, there is nothing. So I mean, as even as just a consumer, instead of like going to a chain supermarket, if you start to get into your community and like help the farmers, the price is gonna go down. If the demand's going high, the price is gonna go down, and those people are gonna be able to sustain. I was having a conversation with my farmer Brett. We're very lucky, and I'm very grateful that we have a farm up in Sonoma, about 50 minutes from the restaurant, and we grow everything. It's a lot of fun. And he was telling me the other day that
I just invited myself to your farm, but I want to come there sometime.
Yes, please. We have some chicken, and we have an orchard. We have fruit, vegetable, olives. I mean, everything. It's pretty amazing, and he's so talented, And but what he was telling me the other day, which was very interesting, that is like chef. He called me chef. You call me Dom. Don't call me chef, please. That there is a surge of young people that really want to go back to the soil and grow their own vegetables for the community. And that's amazing. That is amazing, because this is the way, when you think about this, and I'm not a scientist. I don't know anything. I'm just someone that thinks sometimes, and looking at things, and get inspired. We have one planet, and when you think about it, look at the planet as being your own body. Every time you put something inside of Earth that is not good, like I don't know, pesticide or oil or whatever, fracking or whatever you're doing, it's disturbing the planet. If you put shit in the ocean, is disturbing the ecosystem. So it's exactly as your body. If you put shit in your body, it's gonna be messed up. So, and it would be so easy to live in a community and a society where we don't work, instead we don't like live in with the instant gratification way of thinking. Oh, I want that right now, so I'm going to buy this and this and this. No, be conscious and thoughtful. Live in a way that we are taking a moment. It's like, wow, okay, so tonight I want to cook, or I want to go to support a small mom and pop that's doing amazing food. And they've been doing that for 20 years. They're working with the farmers. And I want to spend my money to do this, because my $10 is going to go a long way. And I want people to think about it, because food is an act of activism. And I'm not preaching anything. I'm not saying we need to go vegan or vegetarian or whatever, which I think we're going to be more vegetable, but we need to be more thoughtful, because a present we need to build right now because of the future of our children. We don't want to leave this earth like, I mean, we need to, it's a world that is moving a lot, and we need to slow down. It's like, I don't care about the stock market. What does it do for those people that are dying right now? I don't give a shit about the stock market. I don't care if it's high. What I care, it's about the people in America, in the world, in France. I mean, France, my country, there's so many people that are dying. In Italy, I care about the world and humanity. And I think we need to think about this right now. We need to be stopping to be less selfish and more compassionate and thoughtful about the things that we're doing every day. And
I think too, it's something that you said struck me about eating as a form of activism. And I think for you know, I would say the majority of my life. And like you were saying, starting probably back in the 50s, we started to genetically modify food, and we start, you know, big farms and, you know, animal farms and the sort of global supply chain. And we've sort of lost touch with the fact that food isn't just something that you like shove down your face. I guess it could be, but if you're just shoving, you know, bad food down your face, you're not going to get really great results. So using food as activism, because like you said before, the food chain goes all over the world and it has to do with everything. I look at it as a means to achieve more social justice. Because if we're talking about communities and how do you get communities to, you know, be more productive for themselves. Maybe you have, you know, in the city, you can have urban farms, or you have them on buildings, or then, you know, the kids are learning how to tend to the soil, but it's like, it's the bigger things that they're learning. They're learning to be one with the land. They're feeding other people. Maybe they're delivering groceries to the elderly in the community. And you start to get that sense of community. And then, you know, the mom and pop shop that maybe can't compete with the huge chains, but is that our metric of what successful means, and what a great wage can be, or what a great life can actually be? We put so much emphasis on profit for everything, and production, and who can produce the most, and this and that. But like, maybe just the shop that, you know, the mom and pop shop or the restaurant that produces amazing food, their margins probably aren't going to be, you know, incredible. It's not going to be a multi-million-dollar business, but it's an important business for not only the food that we're eating, and not only the food that they're preparing, but for the people working there, and for the chefs there, and for, you know, couple that owns it, and for the local farmers, and then for the people going there, and they get that sense of community, and then they're bringing their kids there. So to look at food and, you know, the restaurant industry as a means of community, but also a means of justice in the world. And then you bring it bigger to environmental justice, and, you know, think of the impact of the food industry negatively on the environment, and how can we reshape that in this time. It's interesting right now, a lot of the global supply chains are very disrupted. And so are people going to make that shift sort of back to more community farming? And, you know, how are we going to come out of this with a little bit more thoughtfulness, I think, about what we do? And it's about the food, but it's not. It's about us as people, and what sort of society we want to live in, and sort of touching back on what I said before. We're only as healthy as our weakest person. So how do we bring everybody into the fold to create, you know, a world where, yes, people are being fed, but their souls are also being fed, and their community is being fed. And in turn, I think everybody's going to be at least slightly happier.
I think this is a very important point that you made. And, you know, when I think about, you know, I think about what is success mean for people. Is a success means that you're very profitable, and you have 5 houses and cars, and you can travel all over the world? Or is success mean that it comes from within, and when it comes from within, and when you help the others to also build, you know, their life? I call that success. You know, America was supposed to be based on unification, and coming together and helping each other. And sometimes we have to sacrifice things to get there. You know, I hope that people, the thing is, COVID-19 touched every single life all over the world.
Everyone,
And people are I think there is a shift here, and I think they are thinking that, wow, you know, a lot of people felt very invisible for a long time. You know, it's like, oh, wow, those big chain company, we can't fight, and they felt totally deflated. This is the time that is like, no, you are very visible. We are here to help. So doesn't matter if I have 3 restaurants or 4 restaurants. I'm going to be here to make sure that you are okay also. And that's very important. But it's also the consumer needs to make that shift. How are you going to invest? How are you going to live your life? The kid properly. Not pizza or shit like that. You know?
Not pizza and soda like I had every day in school. It's a fascinating time, I think, for all of us, because I feel like we not only have the opportunity to take a little bit more time, a lot of us that are able to stay at home take a little bit more time, and we can think about things more and think, it's an opportunity for us to sort of renew ourselves, but we're going to have to, because we're not going back to the world that we left in mid-February or mid-March. It's not going to happen for, at least a year, and likely a lot longer than that. So people have this kind of, what I see as a really incredible opportunity to, honestly, a once in a lifetime, a once in 100-year opportunity to reset an entire generation. And it's really kind of a special time for the world, for everybody, but I think for us personally, have you even started to think, like, what ways are you looking at yourself like, okay, I'm successful, not only from a business standpoint, but you've got to do what you love all of these years. You're a world-renowned chef, and now everything just immediately stops. You have to stop your restaurants. You can't cook anymore. You can't create in that way. How are you looking at this as a time to renew yourself, not only as a human being, but as a chef as well?
I mean, maybe my business stopped, but myself, I haven't stopped. I'm still, still learning and growing and inspire and want to be inspired. I mean, there is always great things in darkness. There is always beautiful light in darkness. You know that I'm an advocate about climate change and all that, and I'm seeing everything that is moving around. I was looking at picture of Los Angeles, I think Paris, and then somewhere in New Delhi in India. And it was like they were putting picture next to each other before COVID and after COVID. The sky is so beautiful and blue after COVID. The ocean is like the fish as like coming back alive. We have to realize. I realized, wow, this is maybe a wake-up call for us to wake up the universe, and I am excited about, going out there and able to rebuild my business in a way that is pushing forward to consciousness. I think we kind of been doing that a little bit for a long time. And, I remember I just got, I remember before COVID, a lot of people was like, oh, what are you doing? What is so, everything is organic and you don't want to serve that. You don't want to serve that. And it's like, I'm sorry to use that word, but fuck you. I want to do that is right, and, the reason why we are in the industry, because we are at the service of people. We love people. We want to feed them, but we want to feed them in a way it's good for them, and we want them to have fun. So we are thinking, we're gonna still serve great food and thought food, but we're gonna have fun, and maybe it might be different system and structure, but I'm okay with that. We might not be, we might not have that much customer that we had before, but it's just like it's not about profit right now. It's about rebuilding and doing new things that can be great for the future generation. We have, the 1950 to 1960 put the structure of industrialization of food. We have the power right now to rebuild in a way that is not going to be industrialization. Go back to the community. In the 1960s, the SB alone were funding all those chains to just, why we don't take that idea? Okay, SB, you want to fund those things that we're going to those community, those poor community? Give me the money, and we're gonna give them great food. Maybe we need to take that idea, but make it so much better. Unfortunately, I feel that a lot of small businesses not going to be reopening, and I think there is a way for us to perhaps help them in a way. I'm not sure what it is, but I think there is a way, and I think it will take also education and inspiration, and once again, is it takes a community to change things, you know. So maybe, you know, I think if you want to come to atelier, I think we're gonna make it very fun for you, and we're gonna make it very safe for you, but we're gonna make very fun, and we're gonna have food that is good, and we're gonna make sure the safety of people. But once again, it goes bigger than that. The virus can go away, but we need, you know, we need testing, and we need a vaccine. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
As you know, we had the virus, you know, the Spanish pandemic in the 1919. We called it Spanish during the First World War and all that. We call it that, but you know where that come from? It came from America, because they were sending pigs out there to Europe.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's what I've been reading. So it's interesting. So, but what we have to understand, that as a human, if you distress nature and the wildlife habitat, you distress the whole ecosystem, and when you distress this, it just creates new virus and new disease. And as human, we are not equipped for that. So we have to really understand the ecosystem, and we really have to commune with nature in a way that we haven't done it for a long time. We forget to commune back with nature, you know. So those wild animals and those wild habitat, leave them alone. Don't fucking go and burn some like forest down in Brazil, or trying to get like those animals domesticated because you want to eat them or whatever. Leave them where they are. There is a reason why they are here. And as humans, we have to work with nature. So guess what? If there is no more pork, well, don't eat pork. We can eat something else. You know, be creative this way. You know, and you know, I remember when the time of my grandmother and grandfather. I mean, they were on the farm. They were eating whatever it was around them. You know, and not every day was the same things. You know, because whatever was available, we need to go back to that.
Yeah.
And I think that's very important. You know.
Yeah, there is a sense. I have the sense that we've been given this, you know, once we get on the other side of it, we will have been given this incredible gift to reimagine what the world can look like, and how we can live in the world.
Right.
And I think for a long time, many people have been feeling there's an imbalance, not just in nature and humanity, certainly in nature and humanity, climate change. You know, the way that we are interacting with the other animals in the ecosystem, you know, draining fisheries and, you know, mass producing animals and whatever it is, but also a societal imbalance. And I feel like if we come out of this and the only thing that we want to do is go back exactly to what we had before, I hear that a lot. Can't wait to go back. I can't wait till things are back to normal, back to normal. I think if we don't listen to the imbalances that we've been feeling and talking about, then we've completely just disregarded this once in a lifetime. It's like it's Willy Wonka's golden ticket. We've totally disregarded this incredible gift that we've been given as humanity. It is so rare that something like this happens to every single, I think it's, you know, we're almost 8 billion people on the planet at one time. And so I feel like having, you know, your voice out there in the world, you may just feel like you're one person, I may just feel like I'm one person, but we're not. We're part of it all. And I feel like I just want to look at this time like, yes, it's an incredibly hard time right now, and we have to dig in and we have to be there for each other, and there will be a lot of deaths and there will be a lot of sickness, and it'll be very hard, but we do have this really, really special, once in a multi-generation opportunity to reimagine the world that we live in from every aspect, whether that's, you know, how we deal with our politics or our social safety nets or the way that we eat or what we deem successful, whatever it may be. And I feel like we're sort of on the cusp of this really, you know, incredible time. in our world.
I mean, the social inequality is it's in your face right now. It's like we're seeing it. I mean, we knew it for a long time, but we're seeing it, and this is not right.
Yeah.
It's like,
and it's all laid bare because it's not anyone's fault. It's not, the stock market's in this or whatever. This is a virus that nobody saw coming, or we didn't know it's going to come. It's not really anyone's fault per se. It's affected the entire world. It wasn't one country. It's not a political conflict. It's not a religious conflict. It's something that's affecting everyone, and it's laying bare all of the sort of injustices and imbalances in the world. And we really do have an amazing opportunity, I think.
Yeah, but I think is also and it's not political, but it become very political in a way that we are putting in a trust in the people that we elect in the world. Mm-hmm. They are elected because we vote for them, and we don't vote for them for and then suddenly, but the majority of them like, oh, now you vote for me, now I have my own agenda, I don't give a shit about you. You have to be it's very interesting, I remember, and I'm not trying to be political, but in 2014 or 2015, President Obama went in front of the Congress and told them about that there is a sense that we're going to have a pandemic in 5 years or 10 years or 20 years from now. We need to build infrastructure and making sure that this world is safe, and then we have the right things to just be able to take care of it. It was turned down because he had like one side it was Obama, and the other side there was the other party, and because they were running the country. It's like, no, we don't care about science. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I don't care who you vote for, but vote for someone that understand that they are here to represent you because they want to make sure they want to take care of you. And they can be Republican, Democrat, I don't give a shit, but they need to be a decent person that understand what the other person need, And I'm not trying to be political on this. My father was a politician, and he told me all that. It's like, I'm in politics, but I'm not doing politics for my own ego and my own self and my own power. I'm doing it because people trust my voice and trust that I can help them because I'm at the service of people. A politician is at the service of people.
Yeah.
It's not at the service of his own,
You feel that trust between the relationship. Yeah.
So, I mean, everything is political. So I hope that people understand it, that there is things that they have to, not everybody can run the country, but have people out there to represent us, to make sure they have our back, I mean, it's just like America is one of the most, supposed to be the best country in the world and the most wealthy and whatever. What a shit show, man.
Yeah, we could be doing a lot better. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I wish I could. It's about coming together. Yeah. Put the politics aside. Come together. Let's come like we talk. Let's see what we can do together and listen. Yeah. Yes, it's hard to be locked down for months and months. Mm-hmm. But you know what? If we sacrifice a little bit of our own ego and stay home and be unified, we can get rid of. We can do better as a country. If there is places in America that don't do this, then this is hard. Mm-hmm. I mean, we went to serve some because we donate to the medical worker. First of all, wow, my heroes, amazing. Thank you.
So thankful.
I mean, and they're putting their life on the line every day, and they were very frustrated to see. The other day I was just like, we're so frustrated because people don't understand how serious this virus is. Yeah. And it's not about your freedom of like the First Amendment, whatever. It's about life of others. be compassionate and be there and show up as an American, what a true American is. And I know every American knows that deep inside. It's about we are here and we are one. And if someone in your neighbor go down, we are right there to help them.
Yeah. I know. I feel like people are giving away the opportunity to be there for each other and to help each other and to understand that we really are all in this together. And I know there's, divisiveness in the country, but we can't do this unless everybody comes together. So whether we want to be in this together or not, we are all in this together. And if we really do sort of take on that opportunity, which I see as an opportunity, because there's been other times in the country where we've had to come together and it looks like, our soldiers going overseas, and it looks like war, and it looks like a draft, it looks like other things. And I think people need to realize that the sacrifice that we're being asked to make now, in comparison to sacrifices we have made in the past, it's very doable, I think. And if we can all be in this together, then we can absolutely get through this.
And I think, like, we were talking about stock market. Every company can even every big corporation can really rethink about the way they're doing business. I don't know. I mean, I think I sent you guys an email not a long time ago, but like Maria and I. Maria is my fiance. I think she's. Are you watching, baby?
Hey, baby.
She should come here and say hi. But we are, before the COVID, we got together and we like, okay, what can we do to be at service at people? So we created the kind of like this. It's not on right now, but I think we're gonna be live in September, or maybe in the fall. But we call it Free Human, and it's gonna be a company, an e-com company that we're going to deal with a product and everything, most of the profit that we're going to get is going to go back to the community, the food desert and all of that. And so it's if company can say, okay, we are a big corporation, we're going to make profit, but we're going to re-inject some of the profit within a community for the community to have a push also. That's amazing. That would be an amazing way if everybody was doing this, because it will allow us to, like, for any consumer, that when they buy a product, it's like, oh wow, I'm also helping the community to go back, So it's just, we have to rethink about what we're doing for business. My business partner also at the Crenn Dining Group, we're really rethinking about what can we do, and then we're gonna build a structure in a way that we're gonna build a fund within a company, first of all for our own employee, but also if something happen again, we will kind of be able to reinvest and make sure they are safe. And so it's about, what do you want to do? Do you want to be a trillionaire, or you want to be as enough and great, make money, but also some of your money go back.
Yeah.
And that's what, as human, we should be. We are here, and we have to exchange. We have to help each other. And it's okay if we make, if you make $3 million, hey, I'm gonna give you, 200,000 for whatever the community needs.
Right.
That's powerful to me.
Yeah, it's redefining how we look at success and the way that we see ourselves and how we feel successful, but also what we look at as a successful business or community or state or country or whatever that may be. I wish that we could talk forever and ever and ever, all day long.
That was so great. Where's your glass of wine?
I know, we need more. We need a full night with wine and good food and be able to sit down.
I think the next time maybe you can be on my live, and then I send you a recipe and you send me your recipe, and then we cook.
Well, it certainly won't turn out like yours. You'll make mine a lot better. I'll make yours a lot worse.
I don't know. I think so. I can learn what you like to eat. Where are you? You are in Seattle, right?
I'm actually back east right now. I'm in Connecticut right now.
Okay.
I kind of got stuck out this way. So yeah.
Okay. Well, so let's do that. But thank you so much for having me. And I'll see you soon at the farm.
Yes, I'm coming to the farm. I'm gonna get my gloves ready and get in there a little bit. No,
Awesome.
we're so thankful.
I'm gonna put it to work. Yes.
Yeah, we're so thankful for you to share your perspective, and you're just such an incredible human being in this world. We can't wait to see how you and the Crenn Dining Group and your whole team comes out of this. We can already see you're not looking back to just go to normal. You're looking for what's new and how we can reimagine this world as we come out of COVID, whatever that looks like. But you're such a light in the world, and you're such a dominant force. So we're so thankful to have you on today.
Thank you so
Be
much.
well.
Thank
Be
you.
well. Stay healthy. And we'll see you on the other side.
Thank you very much. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.